And Adam, I want to begin with the judge's discussion of contempt. Begin where the judge began this morning. He hands out his opinion, and then he speaks extemporaneously from the bench, addressing himself directly to Donald Trump. Did it seem to register on the defendant?
Absolutely, Lawrence. And it's the fact that it registers is memorialized in the conferences that Trump does every day. The reporters tried to, I don't think this is too strong a word, bait him again and again to violate the gag order, asking, and I'm reading some of the questions here, is Stormy Daniels a liar? Is Michael Cohen a liar? Could you do a night at Rikers? Why did you pay Michael Cohen? They asked about the jury. Each time, nothing from Trump. And it's clear to see why Trump is abstaining, because this is the first time that Judge Merchan has vocalized that threat of jail to Trump. And if he put it out loud in open court, and if the prosecutors brought another alleged violation to his bench and he heard it, he found another violation, he threw down the gauntlet. If he doesn't throw Trump in jail, he would look entirely like a paper tiger. And Trump got that message. And it was evident in the press conferences during the proceedings and after the proceedings of the day.
So, Andrew, when we hear jail, we're all thinking Rikers Island and sending a former president of Rikers Island with his Secret Service detail. We could hear in what the judge said from the bench that he is concerned with the things I've wondered about, which is how does the Secret Service do this? How do the local officials handle it? How do they interact? How does it work? In real practical terms, what are the options that the judge has that could involve some measure of incarceration without necessarily it being Rikers Island?
So leaving aside that he could just say, as Neil has suggested and Ryan Goodman have suggested, that he says, you know what, I can consider this later. I can decide what sentence to impose later. If there's conviction, I can decide how it relates to the sentence I impose. On the criminal contempt, I can actually give the sentence afterwards. But let's say he wants to do something right now because he really wants to send a message now to stop.
Can you just go back a second on that? So he could make an announcement in court to say, there's going to be a sentence of incarceration, which I'm going to decide later.
Yes, he could say, I am going to sentence you later. You should know fines are no longer sufficient. What that sentence will be is going to wait. And if there is a conviction, I can also consider your continued conduct in deciding what sentence to impose. So all of that he could sort of kick down the road. But let's assume he says, you know what, I need to do something now that's more than that. And it's not sort of my idea, which is, having sort of a babysitter, monitoring sort of his tweets and Truth Socials. He can do a number of things. There's something called house arrest. He could be sort of under lock and key at night. He could be just put in the back of the court. So, when prisoners are brought to the courthouse, there's a holding pen. And he could literally just say, you're going to be in the holding pen in the courthouse. And so he could say, you know what, at lunchtime, that's where you're going to be kept. He could keep them there even some hours in the evening. And there are ways to fashion sort of incarceration without it saying for 30 days you're going to be in jail and be brought back and forth from Rikers. So there are ways for him to do incremental punishment. And that, by the way, is what judges do look to do, is sort of figure out what's the next step. And you know what? I agree with Adam. I mean, no matter how much bravado, this is not somebody who's thinking, what, I'm going to have a really great time at Rikers. The New York court system, difficult place.